we are going to discuss the business of Tesla, and we will focus on Tesla automotive and manufacturing. Forget about Tesla Energy, the solar power, the power walls, the mega packs. Forget about full self-driving and the robo-taxi network. Because Tesla is unbeatable with just cars alone, nobody else comes close to being able to manufacture cars at comparable performance, efficiency, and price. Look for a part 2 to this video where I stack Tesla up against its competition head to head. Tesla's auto business is unstoppable. Nobody can catch Tesla, but boy are they trying. Every auto company now has an electric vehicle or hybrid division. But even with all the bragging and the posturing, the competition really isn't competition at all. They are just regular electric vehicles made by regular auto companies, but not Tesla. When you open the hood, you see that a Tesla has much more in common with a robot than it does an automobile. Teslas were created by electricity in the corner of a rocket factory by a scientist, a mad scientist.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Elon Musk says that it's 100 times harder to build a factory than a car. Well, maybe this is true for Elon Musk, but for everybody else, it's literally impossible to build a factory like a Tesla Gigafactory. We are going to talk about manufacturing with Sandy Munro. But first, please consider subscribing to my channel. For this channel to be monetized, I need 1,000 subscribers, and right now, I'm only halfway there. So please make sure that you ring that bell and hit that like button. Now let's get going.
You can spend your money and keep it too.
When talking about automotive manufacturing, the place to start is with the expert of experts, Sandy Munro from Sandy Munro and Associates. He runs a world-renowned engineering, manufacturing, and consulting firm and is expert in costing and automobile manufacturing.
Do you think that Tesla's going to end up getting overtaken by another electric vehicle company?
No, there's no chance. There's nobody that can catch up. I think that on electronics, they're probably about 5 years ahead of everybody else. If we look at the chips that they're making themselves for the ADAS system and whatnot, those ones are 10 years ahead.
The thing people don't get is when we say that Tesla is 5 or 10 years ahead of the competition, we do not mean that the competition will catch up to Tesla in 5 or 10 years. No, that's just how long it will take for the competition to catch up to where Tesla is today. Meanwhile, Tesla will continue to lengthen their lead because they never sit still. They continuously innovate.
There are some manufacturing improvements. We're moving to an aluminum casting instead of a series of stamped steel and aluminum pieces. When we get the VIG casting machine, it'll go from 70 parts to 1. With a reduction in weight and an improvement in MBH and a reduction in cost and a significant drop in the capital expenditure required for all the robots that would otherwise be necessary to put those 70 parts together.
People who aren't in cars or aren't in automotive engineering and whatnot, they look at the big casting, the mega casting, and they say, oh, wow, what's that going to do for you? That gets rid of 170 parts. That's 170 parts that I don't have to touch. You're looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of parts that have to be stamped or spot welded together. Some of them have got glue or other kinds of adhesives. That's 170 parts that I don't have to worry about them going wrong. Actually, 169, because I still have one part. When you have only one part and that part comes out dead nuts accurate, guess what? You have an advantage over everybody else, especially when you find out that the body shop just got rid of a third of the area that you'd normally need. I just got rid of 100,000 square feet and a whole bunch of people and a ton of robots and a ton of grief. So they're ahead on manufacturing techniques. They're ahead on electronics. They're ahead on battery technology. They create their own stuff. Who's going to catch up? I mean, really? It can't happen.
Can't other companies have large casting machines as well? I mean, why is this so
Sure.
proprietary?
No, it's not proprietary. The casting machines are there, and there's tons of die makers. Yeah, it's available, but where do I buy that material? The material was invented by Tesla.
Check this article out by Electric. I'll leave the link down below so that you can read the whole thing at your leisure. But I just want to focus on one part in this video. Tesla has invented new aluminum alloys, according to a new patent filing. Tesla and SpaceX are partnering up to create new materials for use on Earth and in space. And do you know who else is partnered with Tesla and has the ability to freely share resources with them? Try SpaceX, The Boring Company, Solar City, Starlink, OpenAI, Tesla Insurance, Neuralink, and whatever else Elon Musk dreams up.
Tesla's material doesn't require a heat treat, which is expensive. And the heat treat usually warps the casting. They invented something new. Their 386 material is totally unique. Nobody's got it. They invented it. They invented their own material for casting. 386 is so unique, so different. The thing fills the mold. These are giant parts. The single piece is probably going to be about an 800-pound shot when it's done. That's a big piece, and it's filling up in a few milliseconds. That's fast. How does it do that? Well, they've developed mold flow analysis. They've developed all kinds of stuff to take the material that they invented and turn it into something that's actually usable. And what comes out is a perfect part. And we don't get very many perfect parts when you stamp a whole bunch of things and then try and basically weld them together. It doesn't work out real well, ever.
I just can't imagine another auto company designing and creating a completely new material just to improve their manufacturing process. Any other company would just accept the limitations of the available casting materials as the limitations of the casting process. Who else other than Tesla would be able to create a new kind of metal with unique properties? And the fact that they don't have to heat treat it afterwards guarantees that every part is a perfect part. Perfect, just like a Lego.
Here's the deal with Legos. Legos are the #1 benchmark. If you're talking about accuracy and longevity, and you're talking about material science, just the fact that no matter where you buy a Lego, if you buy one in China, buy one in the Netherlands, and buy one in South America, and buy one in the United States, click, 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 they all go together. That's what you call true quality control. That's what you call preventative maintenance on the machines and the molds and dies. Everything for Lego is about quality, high quality, and dependability. The other aspect is the material that they use is very refined for that process. They know exactly how it's going to mold all the time. When you've got a purchasing agent that's buying steel from brand X and he's getting a good price on it, the guys on the factory floor have no idea when that coil shows up what it's going to stamp like, because when you hit a piece of steel, it bends sometimes in one direction, bends a little different for somebody else. And if you don't figure that out at the beginning, or right at the beginning, you're going to have a part that might creep or might warp or it may have spring back. What they've got is two flat pieces that have to go together, and somehow you have to weld them. And sometimes they go like that, or they go like this, and you have to kind of like bend them to where they're supposed to be. That kind of stuff is what gives you variation in a body shop. And but if I've got a casting, squirt out, boom, done. There you are. And it's going to be just as perfect as a Lego. It's going to be the same every time. Every time.
Tesla has had some complaints about quality control. Is that scaling issue or what is that?
That initially, that was just plain old cheap. They didn't want to hire the right kind of guys to bring into the factory so they could show them how to build a car, okay, and at scale. It's one thing to build onesie-twosies, but when you're trying to crank out $500,000 a year, you've got to have a good system in place. If you don't use lean manufacturing technique or the Toyota production system, you're going to have issues.
Sandy Munro is an automobile manufacturing expert, and his job is to find problems and teach companies how to manufacturing automobiles at scale. But I think he is wrong about Elon Musk being cheap. Now, I'm not saying that Tesla never had problems, because they had tons of manufacturing problems. In fact, they almost didn't survive them. Elon Musk did not want to hire an automobile manufacturing expert because he was approaching the problem of manufacturing through first principles. If he would have hired an automobile expert, Tesla factory would have turned out like every other automobile factory. Whenever Tesla experiences problems in manufacturing or anything, they innovate and invent their way out of trouble. And then once they've solved that problem, they write patents and then dominate the area that they struggled in.
On the cross-country trip that we made, we met with a bunch of people that had absolutely perfect builds. Perfect. I'd put them up against Bentley, Mercedes, BMW. I don't care who you put them up against. Those guys came up with an absolutely fabulous build. But really and truly, the things that fall apart with normal OEMs isn't the body. That can always be fixed. But the thing that Tesla's got that nobody else has got, look at those electric motors. They outperform everybody. Look at the battery pack. It outperforms everybody. Look at the electronics. It outperforms everybody. They've got less wires inside their vehicle because they've got the forethought to know where they can make the shortest cable. Look at the HVAC system, the heating and ventilating system. It's a work of art. It doesn't come from an automotive mindset. It comes from a space mindset.
People forget that the first Tesla was designed in the corner of a rocket factory. This is not regular automotive technology. This is rocket science.
They're inventing their own chips. They have their own material science. Like the electric motor has got magic inside of it. And then you've got the magic associated with the mega castings. They got 11 more machines on order. There's only 2 companies that make it, and they're both owned by the same company. They're going to have a hard time if they want to try and go into the die casting business. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Nobody else is going to have big stamping machines to make their cars with unless they buy or rent the technology from Tesla.
When are we going to see this 25K car? And are they hurting their margins with this race to the bottom if they're so far ahead?
You can make a lot of money on a small car if you know what you're doing.
I have talked about why Tesla's battery cost is going to decline in great detail before. It has to do with Wright's law, which clearly predicts that for every doubling in production, you get a corresponding reduction in price. And since Tesla's growth rate is well over 50%, it's just a matter of time before they can sell $25,000 cars profitably. Although only Tesla is currently writing down the Wright's law price decline curve, everybody else's battery production is progressing at a snail's pace. Most electric vehicle makers do not even make their own batteries, nor do they have plans to produce them in the future. And they certainly aren't keeping up with Tesla. And until this changes, Tesla will remain the only automotive company reducing their manufacturing cost. Hey, electric car guys, are you too stupid to know that you either make lots of batteries and win, or go extinct? Where Tesla never spends a dollar on advertising, the legacy automakers spends about $5 billion a year, which is more than enough money to build a factory. And by the way, how come Tesla can build a factory in under a year where everybody else takes 4? Teslas sold today are a great value, and they're only getting cheaper. Plus, it seems that Tesla is the only electric vehicle company that is actually trying to produce vehicles in numbers that matter. In addition to being the best value for the money, Tesla is currently the only company that has a fully autonomous product that you can purchase today. Every single Tesla sold today comes with all the hardware required for level 5 autonomy already installed on the car. So if you purchase the full self-driving option today, you will eventually get it with an over-the-air update. Tesla's rate of innovation is ridiculous. They never stop improving their vehicles. In fact, Teslas do not even have model years like other car companies do. They don't merely improve their vehicles only once a year like Ford or GM does. No, when an improvement comes down the line, they put it into production immediately, even if it is only weeks after the vehicle was put into production. Tesla is continuously improving all of their products, including the big stamping machines and all the robots in the factory. I'd like to take this opportunity to correct a mistake that I made the last time I talked about Tesla on this channel. Here's what I said in the clip. General Motors has announced that they are going to make the transition to electric vehicles by the year 2035, but that's not what GM said at all. Here's what they actually said. They have an aspiration to eliminate tailpipe emissions from new light-duty vehicles by the year 2035. Does GM want to go bankrupt? I mean, having an aspiration to eliminate tailpipe emissions is the same thing as saying, hey, I would like to lose weight. And only for light-duty vehicles, whatever that means. And it tells me that GM has absolutely no aspiration to switch to electric vehicles at all. Hopefully they will see the error of their ways before it's too late. Be sure and stay tuned in part 2 of this video, where I wear this shirt and stack Tesla up against its competition in a head-to-head. Mixed in with the greatness of Tesla's operations is the confusion in the mainstream media around Tesla's stock price. It's a real roller coaster. As I was making this video, Tesla stock price was down around $650 a share. Where others worry, I see a buying opportunity. So what do you think? Are you buying more shares of the stock? Or are you maybe going to buy a Tesla? I just put $100 down on a Model Y, which I may pick up in June. I suppose I'll finally be replacing my gas-guzzling 1986 Trans Am. I read and respond to every comment, so please type away down there and ask me anything. So until I see you again, remember, you don't have to make a lot of money at your job to become rich, because when your money is making money, you can spend your money and keep it too.
Don't buy or sell a stock just because a YouTuber like JC says so. He's got opinions. These decisions are important. It's your money. These decisions should be made by you.